In this demonstration, we're going to discuss how to configure uninterruptible power supplies, or UPSs. Using a UPS is a really good idea, especially for sensitive systems. Some reasons to have a UPS are protection from power loss, brownouts, surges, overvoltages, and line noise. Remember, computers don't like unclean shutdowns. It's possible for data to be corrupted or lost when unexpected shutdowns occur. Before we talk about how to configure the UPS, we need to identify one key mistake that a lot of users make when they connect a UPS to their system. Many users plug their system's AC cable into a protected outlet on the UPS, but they don't ever connect the management cable. Most UPS systems have a USB cable that you can plug into your PC system. This cable allows communications between the UPS and the computer's operating system. Using this cable, the operating system can monitor the battery's charge. In return, the UPS can send commands to the operating system to shut down. For example, if a power outage occurs, the UPS can send a command to the operating system saying, "We need to shut down because my batteries are going to run out in like 5 minutes." If you don't connect the management cable, there's a chance the UPS's battery capacity will be shorter than the duration of a power outage. So, how do we set the system up? First, we plug the UPS system into a wall outlet. When you initially purchase a UPS, the battery will probably need to be charged for quite some time, maybe even overnight, before it reaches 100%. Then we plug our PC into one of the protected outlets on the UPS. Be very careful with this because you'll often find that only some outlets are battery backed and others only provide surge protection. If you plug your PC into a surge only outlet, you don't have any battery backup. Next, we need to plug in the serial or USB cable from the UPS to the PC system and install the UPS management software. I've already done both of those things. As you can see, I have UPS software installed and running on my Windows 10 machine. The software used will vary, as some are provided by the UPS manufacturer, while others may use a third party. The software we're using today is provided by CyberPower. When we start the Power Panel application, we can see the current status, load, estimated runtime, and much more. Here we can see that electrical power is currently supplied by the AC utility power. In other words, this system is currently running on AC power from the wall outlet. Right now, it is not running on battery power. The battery is 100% charged. If you look in summary, we have not had a power outage, and we have not had to switch to battery power recently, so no historical battery events are recorded. Let's go to the gear, which is the settings. Next, we're going to go to notifications. In this area, we can set software sounds that come from the connected PC and also the audible sounds that come from the UPS. By default, these are set, so we're just going to leave them. Here we can configure Gmail to send an email when a power problem occurs as well. That could come in handy. Regardless of where you are, you could get an alert provided you still have power for your internet. We're going to switch over to runtime. This is the area where you can configure the software to shut down the connected PC. Since we want to preserve the battery for other connected devices, I'm going to switch this to preserve battery power. Let's set this to 5 minutes, since an AC power blip is usually less than that. If the threshold of 5 minutes is hit, the AC power will usually be out for longer. Voltage adjustment triggers the UPS battery to kick in when it notices volts above or below what's normal. These defaults should be fine, but they can be tweaked slightly. Self-testing is a good practice to do occasionally to make sure the UPS is functioning correctly. When the Initiate Self-Test button is pressed, it switches over to battery power and does a load test. If that test is successful, it says Passed. The Advanced tab gives you some options to adjust input voltage sensitivity, and the shutdown type can be switched from shutdown to hibernate if desired. Hibernate is like sleep, but it saves the open documents and running applications to your hard disk and then turns the system off. A lot of PC techs like to connect other devices to the UPS to keep them up and running. That's okay as long as the devices don't draw too much power. For example, I know a lot of system techs that work with small businesses, myself included, that connect the organization's switch to the UPS so that networking remains enabled during a power event. That's always a good idea. In addition, they'll connect their internet connectivity equipment to the UPS, such as their cable modem. It keeps all your network connectivity up and running in the case of a power event. And because the switch and the cable modem don't really draw much power, it doesn't affect the estimated battery time very much. The one thing that you should never, ever connect the protected power outlet on your UPS to is a printer, especially a laser printer. That's because laser printers have heating elements that consume a huge amount of electricity and drain the UPS battery very quickly. That's it for this demonstration. In this demo, we talked about implementing a UPS. First, we talked about the role and function of a UPS. We talked about the process for connecting the UPS to the system. Then we went through the configuration process for the UPS to show what can be changed to suit your needs.